Hi there, and today we're going to learn about how to make a Wix website more responsive so that the content fits to all screen sizes. So here I am in my Wix website dashboard, and first I want to open my live version of my website. So I can just click on the three dots right here in the home page and then click on view live site. So here is the live site of my Wix website, and as you can see, when I minimize the window, it still looks good. So it is responsive and it doesn't mess up the orientation of the elements. And then we have some different ways in order to do that in our website editor. So I'll just close this one, and to go to the website editor, just click on edit site. But I already have my website editor open right here. And then there are a bunch of different ways that you can make your Wix website more responsive. One way is that you can use strips. So this section right here uses a strip. As you can see, it is in a strip right here, and then it has different columns. So for example, if I select the strip right here, it is stretch. So if you are using a strip, you can stretch the size of the strip so that it will always be responsive for the different screen sizes. So they can adjust their size according to the size of the browser. So another way in utilizing strips is that you can use different columns. So for example, I have 3 columns right here. So this is a good way to make your website more responsive and then more organized so that you don't have different elements moving around if you are not using strips. So it is because, for example, if I just use a blank section right here, and then if I add an element, and if I don't have any strip, sometimes when the size of the browser changes, so this text will be all over the place. It will just move on its own. So that's why I recommend that you can use strips so that it will always be organized no matter the size of your browser. And then you need to also keep in mind about these grid lines. So if you are using a manual design of your website, the elements must always be between the grid lines. But there are some exceptions. So for example, like for this section right here, my elements are exceeding the grid line. So this is because they are stretched. So this is a good way that you can know that your elements are responsive is if they are stretched. So if I didn't stretch them to full width, they will just have a manual size like this one. But if you stretch this to full width of the browser or of the size of the website, they will always adjust their size according to the width of the website. And then that is it. Those, keep in mind about the grid lines, and then you can use strips, and then you can use columns inside the strips. If you are using a gallery, so for example, I will add an element right here, then add a gallery. So for example, pro galleries, then I add this masonry example of the gallery. So we'll just wait for it to load. And then if you are going to use a gallery, it is a good practice that you also stretch the size of the gallery so that whenever the size of the browser or the website changes, the gallery follows the size of the website. And then once you are done changing all of your elements right here, you can just click on save and then publish the website. so that it will be reflected on the live version of the website. So here is the live version of my website. And then we now have this different elements right here. And then if the size of the browser changes, as you can see, the gallery also adjusted its size. Then we also have this horizontal scroll right here. And then that is it. I hope you learned how to make your website more responsive here in Wix. And thank you for watching.